Yeah. Bitches be ballin'. We're near the end of the season. Kayla, we made it,
It flew by, honestly.
more
We
or
only have like
less.
2-3 weeks left. It's crazy.
I know, not so. So our ladies only league, Bitches Be Ballin', ended our season last Sunday, and we brought in the winner of the league and the finalist that went against her. Both of them have been on the pod before, so welcome back, Carley, the champion, and Jess,
Welcome.
otherwise known as Hottie Barnes.
One of the best fantasy names I've ever heard, by the way.
Awesome. White hot. And one of the best waiver wire pickup artists. Like, I was not joking when I named you my favorite waiver wire pickup artist, because you're fast. You're very fast.
Listen, I do what I can. When you make the mistake, and I know we're gonna get into it, but listen, how did this season go? Don't draft Joel Embiid, okay? So when you draft Joel, what it actually does, it's an addition by subtraction, right? Because the anxiety that you feel with him on your roster, it makes you have to really work hard, right? And you got to grind on the wire. And I think that's really what happened. Much thanks, Carley, for your props, but it's really just anxiety.
Yeah, right on.
All season.
But you know what? The fact that you made it to the finals, even though you drafted him, that's amazing.
So sick. I mean, seriously, incredible. I went back and looked, like, on the drive home today and looked back at our draft, and I was like, yeah, that, like, just killed it. I mean, way to overcome and adapt on some craziness. And last week, you kept. I mean, your team was still giving me fits, even with Jokic out. Like, your waiver wire, all studs. I mean, Quentin Grimes, like, whoa.
It wasn't bad. Yeah. It was actually really fun. Congrats. I do think one night of Joker might have tipped it in my favor. I really just needed one 10, 10, and 10, and I probably would have taken it, but much deserved win on your end.
Right. Yeah, you guys had a close matchup too. I think it was 5-4, right? A couple of categories were pretty close too.
Like, yeah, it was. I had to pivot complete. I had, like, when Steph missed one game, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then Austin Reeves was out, and because, like, I was like, oh, threes. Like, I've always got threes. I've got Austin Reeves and Steph and Jaylen Brown. Like, I got it in the bag. Obviously was fortunate that I was able to get a few games out of most of those guys, but yeah, that I had to pivot pretty hard, and kudos. It was a very weird matchup that would certainly not have been like that any other week of the season, but
yeah,
good freaking fight.
Shout out to Daquan Jeffries and the Hornets.
Dude, amazing pickup. Like, wow.
Yeah, that was. I had to get really smart.
Yeah. I mean, and Jess,
season.
You famously don't use a lot of online tools and stuff either. So even more impressive that you're using street smarts there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I told you when I first came on, and I want the BBB fans who listen to this podcast, go back to my introduction. I did say, hey man, I know I got Joel and it's gonna be tricky, but watch out for Hottie Barnes.
You did.
And I did what I said I would do. Like, I looked at Carley's team. I kind of checked out strength of schedule. I did do that. Like, I didn't so much kind of anticipate numbers and metrics and pull up Excel.
Sure. Yeah.
Last season versus this season. Like, I didn't do all that. But I saw Steph. And I saw your team. I saw what you had. And then I saw, like, the Hornets schedule, and I said he's definitely gonna grab him. Because I was trying to be very judicious with my ads as well, because I knew it was gonna be a tough one. Especially with the Jokic injury. So, like, I just tried. I tried to use the waiver wire as smartly as I could. Shout out to you, Yuri and Kayla, for kind of adapting that rule of letting like the teams who are going forward like use the wire, right? Like
Oh yeah,
to
it's
do
the
that. I know
only way to
sometimes
go.
eliminated teams like will still make pickups for whatever reason. Now, if there are some teams with like third place, fourth place, I'm in a league that has even like a fifth place winner, right? I think fifth place gets $50, fourth gets 100.
Oh, so yeah, if you're fighting for money, then
Yeah.
yes, you can make pickups and fight. But
100%.
if
That's a
it's
whole
just a
different thing.
free league and you know, it's truly like a consolation bracket, just fucking stay off the wire, man. Like you can make drops and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. So that was my strategy. Like Kayla, like you were saying, like I looked at who had the back-to-backs, who made the most sense, and then overall strength schedule based off of Carly's beast team. And like I almost did it. And on Sunday night, I've been in leagues with owners who will actually sit all of their players if turnovers are close.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is like I don't want to lose percentages, and I think I have like the big stats covered, or they're completely gone, one or two of them. And so if turnovers is close, like they'll just completely sit everybody and see what happens. But I hate it. I hate it. I hate that strategy. I don't know. I just don't like it. But when I looked at Sunday night after everything played out, I was like, if I did that, I actually might have won. I could have taken, I think I lost turnovers by like 5 or 6. And one of my guys had like 3 by himself. So I was like, that could have been slick, but it would not have felt like a win. So
Yeah, no shame in that,
yeah.
Jess. It is it's a way to win. So I got no shame in sitting guys.
I think
who
Grimes
wins on turnovers.
turnovers himself. Like he was beasting, but he was turning the ball over a lot. Because he's not usually the guy that other teams are game planning against. And over the past week, that's been him. So yeah.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes had me on pins and needles on Sunday evening. I'm like, please hang on to the ball, darling.
Irony, right? Scotty Barnes and Hottie Barnes.
Scotty Barnes versus Hottie Barnes. I mean, what more can a true hoops fan ask for?
It was great.
That was fantastic. It did come down to the wire though, and I did actually have Aaron Wiggins, like who, you know, for that OKC Clippers game, and like, oh dude, I was like so you know, what is it, like I was really stressing over, oh, who should I pick up? Should I pick up Aaron Wiggins, or should I pick up Bogey, like to try to get, you know, just like possibly a few steals and some extra threes or something. But then when I saw Aaron Wiggins was starting on, you know, I guess like Wednesday night or something, it's just like, okay, well, yeah, that, you know.
No, that wasn't a bad play. Even though in the semis, he stressed me out going 0 for 9. like this, the semis for me was like pins and needles too. But yeah, Aaron Wiggins was a good call. But for me, I knew like it was going to be a rough one. Already without Joel, and then the Joker goes down, and then I lose D'Lo, and then I intermittently lose quickly. Like in and out of games, rest, you know, tanking all around the league.
Totally.
So I had to be super creative.
Yeah, and that's a challenging part of silly season. Like you got to be able to adapt like that. I mean, players are going to be sitting like every single night, so it's a pain in the ass to maneuver around that. But did both of you guys use all of your waiver wire ads?
Yes.
I'm assuming yes, right? Yeah.
I used all of mine before like the back-to-back pickup. I had, you know, there were like 4 or 5 of my players who sat out as well. I mean, Steph getting hurt, Jaylen Brown didn't play, you know, whatever. And but I happened to have an extra spot because Nick Richards. Anyway, and I just went ahead and picked up Mohamed Gay for the Hawks for their back-to-back on late Friday night or whatever, because I was just like, this is, you know, it was just like a, wow, you know, Hail Mary, and sort of like pivoting back because I feel you. Jess, on like the intuitive thing, and like usually there I'll have someone in mind, and like we'll look at stats to like confirm or trash that idea or whatever. But but this time I actually did do a spreadsheet and was like, okay, if there's like 2 games of Jokic, like how would I have any chance to win rebounds, or because like normally I have a killer rebound team, but like obviously that wouldn't Jokic is like right no yeah exactly. But yeah, that was different. But yeah, I blew all of it, and I was like, okay, well,
It's almost
take the wheel.
a relief when you just use up all your
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, agreed. Because oh my god, it was so stressful playing you week before, and then like.
Were there any pickups that you regretted
this week?
Yeah, this week for the finals.
I mean, no. I mean, I picked up Obi Toppin on Monday, and he had a kind of killer Obi Toppin game on Monday, which he was pretty terrible the rest of the week. But like, it made me sort of be like, should I have really blown that? But like, yeah. And then they had that back-to-back, whatever, Wednesday, Thursday, or something like that. So that was fine. I mean, he got a little bit of stats, and it wasn't great, but that was one that kind of question.
No, it was tough. No, but that Monday, that's when I knew we were going to be in for a battle, because Obi went for 40 and then Grimes almost went for 50. And I was like, okay, we're in it. We're in it now. I think it was Grimes. Like, I could be wrong, but like we had picked up wire.
Dude, Grimes had like 47 points.
We went up. Yeah, like we had a couple guys on our teams. Like it really felt like Monday night. I was like, all right, we're in it. I think Champagne was a pickup that I regret.
Justin.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah, like Washington was being really interesting.
Dude, nobody knew.
They're tanking.
Yeah, I had him in another league. It's like nobody knew.
Like I didn't get completely screwed over with the DMP. Like with the healthy scratch that happened like the night before. I know people really were pissed off about that because he was looking like a really good option. But I used after, I think, Carley, you grabbed Vucevic, you grabbed you grabbed on Washington. I was like, shoot, okay, she's thinking what I'm thinking. But maybe Justin will give me some rebounds, and his 2 nights will combine for something great. I think both of his nights he hit me with like literally like 8 points, 4 rebounds, and like a steal. Like it wasn't worth it. But the strategy was there. It just wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, totally. And actually, mentioning Justin Champagne, like I adore the Champagne brothers so much. And I was like so annoyed at the beginning of the week because I dropped him, in our semis, like just trying to get games in. I had dropped him. It was like, wait, what am I gonna do? But I guess say let me.
No, we battle. I mean, I could call you a waiver wire artist as well, right? Like you had the Indiana pickup. Like I grabbed Buzelis for his random 30 points.
So killer. Such a killer pickup. I was like, oh, dagger right here. That was fantastic. On Wednesday night too. Yeah. Very smooth for their back-to-back. And and I guess that was very smooth.
Yeah, there's no better feeling than when you pick someone off the waivers and they just go off that night. Like, oh my God, I can't even describe it. Like, it's just like a whole other thing. It's amazing.
Jalen Williams is out, Kayla.
Okay, good. I was going to drop someone for him, but nah.
Sorry, I had to give her that late breaking.
No, thank you. Yeah. I'm in the finals in that league, so very important information. Thank you.
There you go. The Broncos out, everybody. But yeah, no, Matas, like he went off for me, but in the categories that like didn't really matter, right? Like I needed rebounds. And he hit me with like 34 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and like a steal and 2 blocks or something. But I mean, yeah, we were playing the waiver wire, we were playing it well. And I think if our teams were healthy, it would have been an even more interesting.
Even tougher.
That would have been fun to see. Like, and D'Lo was just like giving everybody fits. Like I picked him up at the right time. Like he was doing his inefficient volume shooting shit, but like
Dude.
D'Lo, like it was D'Lo. Like he was giving you 20 points on like 30%, and that's what I wanted. But of course he was sitting because the Nets also want, Cooper Flag or Dylan Harper. That's the other big takeaway. I'm just gonna sprinkle in like takeaways for the season. If there's generational talent in the draft, like coming up, avoid the bad teams. Like I just, like avoid the bad teams, or notice very quickly when a team season is headed in that direction. If there is a Cooper Flag available, right? If there's like a franchise changing player that's up for drafting. I've never seen so many teams get so creative with the tanking to the point where the league is like finding teams and players were like on injury reports and then off injury reports, and then those players that are off injury reports end up playing 9 minutes. Shout out to Jordan Poole, like whatever that was, like. So keep your eyes and ears open. Yeah, that's one of my big takeaways. Like, the tank is real.
That is a really good piece of advice. And that's why also, like, if you do draft players who are on really shitty teams, look to sell high on them. So if they have that period where they're doing very well and you know that the tank is coming soon, sell high, get rid of them so you don't have to deal with the headache in your fantasy playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good advice. Shout out to Jazz.
I mean, we're going to have Josh Lloyd on next week, but and I want to talk about just formats, retrospective and stuff, because honestly, I might be done with head to head, unless it's games cap, unlimited moves via fab. It's the league is really, really broken in my opinion, and games cap, roto, like you don't deal with the headache, and it's I know it's not as exciting as head to head and stuff, but you just feel better about everything. Like, it's yeah. So I don't know. I think it's really fucked up situation that Adam Silver has got us into. There's too many games, and
there's too many games. There's not enough teams. There's players who don't get to play who should be playing. It's way too many back-to-backs. Way too many back-to-backs. Yeah. Not fair. It's not fair to these young guys who are,
Yeah. I think eliminating back-to-backs is like probably one of the first things that they should do. And they probably should take like 4 or 5 games off the season in general. Like, yeah, there's a couple of things. And yeah, Josh should be exciting because I know he was saying in the off season he's going to be doing a lot of research in terms of different formats and the impact of some of the big guys going down to your team and what all that looks like, tanking versus real injury versus Carley, like you were saying, our coach is just trying to give young guys minutes or opportunities, and how does that impact their round 1, 2, or 3 guys? What does that all look like? I know he'll be busy this offseason because I know the fantasy basketball atmosphere is very, very upset. There's been a lot of frustration this year with the way a lot of things have played out. So that should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people like commenting on a lot of analysts' posts and just being like, I'm just quitting fantasy forever. I don't want to do roto. And, I get it. Like roto, at least like for me, I don't find it as exciting as head to head, but still to quit fantasy altogether. I mean, there's changes that you can make to a league, like Josh is exploring to make it more enjoyable, right? Or even just ending your season a little bit earlier, like things like that that you can do. You don't have to quit fantasy altogether. I mean, it's not that deep.
It's really but I do it often. Like I've been doing it now for what? This would be my 4th year, I want to say. And like that was always in the comments. Like, oh, this player went down, I'm done with fantasy. Like it's now, has it maybe increased a little bit this year for legitimate reasons? Sure. But I feel like that was always kind of in the air, like just general frustration.
Yeah. Multiple teams tanking that's a new one.
Race to the bottom. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, this
it's bad.
It's really just it has not been fun. Like fantasy should be fun. So when it's not fun, it's like, why do it? So
yeah, but it's hard though, because like I can't expect a team or coach to care about about fantasy, right? Like it's tough. Like
Yeah.
on one hand, I get it. And like it's something that I really enjoy and I feel the frustration as well. Like I definitely almost threw my phone when I saw I wasn't gonna have Joker for the week. Like it's not good. But at the same time, there's really not much we can do. Like I saw Darius Garland just gave like a soundbite and he was like he's getting yelled at because people were yelling about the parlay and he didn't get over 20 points. And so
Yeah, I saw that.
Halliburton said the same thing last year. Which by the way, Tyrese, not who he used to be. That's another takeaway. I drafted him in one of my other leagues. I think Pascal and the Canadians on that team have kind of taken away his ceiling. That's just a nugget out there for everybody. I don't think he's a first round guy anymore. But I don't know, like Yuri, you're absolutely right? It's not necessarily fun when there's much more going on, and a lot of teams are looking around at what Presti, I want to say, what Presti did with the Thunder, right? Like those 4 straight years of tanking and like hoarding picks, and now they're like a dominant team. And I think a lot of teams, want to do the same thing. And so that's going to have an impact on what fantasy is and on what your first and second round guys will do, their usage, their minutes. It is hard on their bodies as well, as we're saying, right? So number one on the call sheet type guys playing that many minutes is just not a thing anymore. Like I think people want to be preserved for the playoffs because a lot of stars are going down and they're going down more consistently. So that's just going to have to change what fantasy is. And maybe I'll have to eat my words and maybe I'll have to become a roto girl. Maybe I won't be as toxic as I used to be, loving the drama of head to head because it is going in a direction that's going to make head to head a little bit more difficult for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen a lot of analysts advocating for roto leagues, and I'll probably join more this upcoming season. But it's just like I said before, like the head to head for me is just it's so another element. It's so much more interesting, right? Like it's way more exciting.
We hear you, Dan. We get it. Roto is great. Right? You get it. But I get it. I'm with you, Kayla. Like head to head is just I don't know, it's just Carley. We just did Magic last week. Like head to head.
Yeah. Well, you have to adapt. I mean, you have to adapt to, like it's a totally dynamic way to play, which is
but I get it. And that might be what happens. There might be a significant increase in folks playing Roto because of all of this, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I hope that does make that change in the off season.
Yeah, the idea of if there were any way to have a league that had like a head-to-head league that had an equal number of matchups with each person, with each team, and like eliminated playoffs somehow or something like that, seems like it could be a possible like ideal thing, or like whatever that league, maybe I'm not even sure who, maybe like Josh and Kingy or something, people that's like it's like a mix and like every team plays every team each week or something. It's like a head-to-head among that I mean that sounds honestly kind of fascinating, and like it's probably like that hybrid structure is like it sounds cool. But I hear you guys.
I was actually in one of those leagues. So Kingy started. Yeah, it was a head-to-head roto mix. And I'll be honest, I didn't fully understand the rules, but I did pretty well. I went to the finals. I played against Josh Lloyd, where I lost. But still, like it was interesting to have like both. I just wish we understood it more. It was like really good. But
was that the league where everybody played everyone else every week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a little bit confusing, but I mean, it was a really interesting concept, and I hope that Kingy runs it again next year because it was really good. He did it on Fantrax.
Very cool. So you were in that league this year?
Yeah, this year. Yeah, it was my first time doing that kind of like combination, which is pretty cool.
Right on. Yeah, it sounded really interesting.
Yeah, there's so many different kinds of like leagues that you can do, which is amazing. I'm actually part of this one with the Menace Podmen, where it's a playoff league. And I've never done that before. So it's based on the NBA playoffs. So once it starts, we draft players who are playing in the playoffs.
That's the
and then it's all flex. Yes. Are you in that one?
I am. Yeah.
You are. Nice. Yeah. So you can't, it's basically like a draft only league. and all of
No
your
moves.
spots are roster
Yep.
spots.
Oh,
Yeah, so everyone's playing all the
cool.
time. Yeah, which I like because I don't really want to have to make any moves for that league. I just kind of want to draft my players, let it run, see what happens.
Yeah, let it ride.
Yeah, exactly. So that'll be an interesting one. But it just goes to show how many different varieties there are to fantasy.
Yeah, that sounds way cool. Well, this was my rookie season, so I just joined a bunch to learn. I was like, I'm sort of a whole hogger, so was like immersion's the best way. And joined 8 leagues. And like 4 in which I knew people, 4 in which were, pretty much like strangers from the internet. And like 2 points leagues, and the rest are all, category leagues. I don't know, it was fun. It's been really fun to see like, different ways that things are. I know that I like a big roster is like way more fun, and than like a really deep bench is way more fun than like a super short bench. And that is one huge difference, that like even if it's a weird league, I will play that again to to have that just to have fun. Like there's one like mega league that I was in that I actually that was pretty cool because I would like try out players in it, because we had unlimited moves, which was amazing. And people were like really active, and there were some kind of sharks. I'm in playoffs there now. But it was cool, to get to sort of like audition players before I put them into, my, tighter rosters.
Interesting. I have to say though, I did 11 leagues this year. Never again.
That's a lot.
That was the most stressful thing I have ever done in my life. I think next year, like my cap is going to be like 7 or 8. Because like when you're doing so many leagues, it's so hard to focus on each one individually. And I think that's why like in some of my leagues, like I got fucked. Yeah. So that's it. That's my max.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
He is kind of. It's kind of a lot.
It's kind of crazy. It's just like a lot of the industry guys are running like different kinds of leagues. Yeah. So that's why like I'll usually do those ones just for like the variety. But yeah, there's got to be a max because I find like it's way too hard to just focus on one league and do all your streaming and get the hot waiver wire pickup. Like it's way too much and you miss out on a lot.
Yeah. There were some nights where like Kayla, you tweeted some great fantasy advice, and then I'm like looking at our league waiting for you to take it. I was like, oh nope, all right.
I know, I was thinking that too.
Rolling, and then like this player like stock is up, and I'm like, oh yeah, he is in our league. Let me go.
I know, and that's my problem. I never took my own fantasy advice, which is hilarious. Like I can only do it in a couple of leagues, and like I didn't have the patience to like sit through all 11 and check. Oh, hey, this player's available. Pick him up, or oh, hey, drop this guy. Like it was way too much, and yeah. But that's a totally good point. That's hilarious.
And I know, like I noted it too because the one time that you did it, you beat me to Nurkic.
Oh yeah. When you probably got traded to the Hornets, yeah.
Oh! The trade deadline day. Yeah.
I jumped the gun.
Like I'm sitting pretty with Musa, like everything's gonna be great, and then it all just went to shit. And then like Nurk got traded, and he was like he was gonna be the guy. Okay, I need Nurkic, and then like you beat me to Nurk. I was like, okay, that was like if that blows up, that's gonna be a crazy one for Kayla. And then it just, I guess, it didn't.
It fell through. Yeah, that was rough. But yeah, that's another thing too. Like day of trade deadline, I was like, okay, I gotta tweet all my stuff. I gotta get ready for a podcast, and I have to look at 11 leagues and try to make some moves. How the hell am I gonna do all of that?
Oh, you were on it though. You were on it.
I tried. Thank you. I tried. Yeah.
Except for your overpay on Musa in our industry roto league.
I was rushing.
So funny.
Yeah, 400 fab on Musa
instead of
40.
Oh,
That
my
was
God.
stupid. Yeah, that was.
I was like, whoa, Kayla really wanted Musa. And
Yeah,
then Nurkic,
honestly, like
then they
it
got
was more
Nurkic.
so like a shot in the dark for me. I was just like, I'll bid 40 and then see what kind of happens. And then I looked after and I was like, oh, cool, I got him. Wait, 400? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so
Where
I
are
was
you in that league?
scatterbrained.
Are you still like in the top 5 or
Um,
something in that league?
I don't even remember what league I picked him up in. That's
No,
the
it
thing.
was the
Was it the
industry
Roto
roto
one?
league. Yeah,
I'm
Let me
6th.
look.
So I'm tied with 6.
Not bad.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna win that one, but that's okay.
I can't believe Poppy Roy is still in
He's still
first.
first. Yeah. You know what though? That was my first ever time doing a Roto League. So 6th place out of I think 12. Like I'll take it. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's better than 11th, which is where I am.
Yeah, but you were really high at one point. You were like
I
third.
was, but then I fucking lost everybody to injury.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and that's the
Oh,
thing.
man. And so for
Yeah.
the both of you, is this your first time doing Roto? Like, was this your
No,
first?
that was
You've
Roto's
done it
how I
before, I
got
think.
started.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Roto, you guys. Okay, because I was gonna
Yeah.
ask, like, give me the skinny on it and the
411.
and yeah.
I played only Roto for the first few years. And I really like it. I mean, I feel like you've got to strike balance, like you can't punt.
Mhm.
So you've got to really go for a balanced team, and truly the best team wins. Like
Yeah.
it's truly like the best team wins in Roto. And it's with games cap, you've just got to be really like selective about when you're playing your guys, and you got to always look at
Mhm.
games max pace, how many games you've got remaining.
Mhm.
Make sure you like have your flex or utility spots, like you've got a bunch of those at the end, so you can slot anybody in to make up whatever ground on particular categories that you need. And it just makes you pay more attention to like efficiency and
Sure.
yeah, I
And-
mean, it's not as exciting, but it's
more strategic.
It's very strategic.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, the thing that I guess the attraction to me, like obviously I'm a hoops fan. That's why why anyone like introduced me to you guys. Because I just love watching basketball games. And that is obviously the appeal of fantasy hoops to me, is just watching, make me watch more games. But that what you're talking about, the games cap, Yuri, that sounds like it would be in like, having to watch the efficiency, et cetera, et cetera. That sounds like it would maybe be even more engaging to someone who is like hardcore, because you have to consider the matchups, like, the NBA matchups, as opposed to which is like, to me, like, I love that part of it, like thinking like, okay, who's gonna have, what does their schedule look like this week? Like, who might pop off with what they've got or whatever. So that, I don't know, that sounds cool. But it's the games cap is like overall, it's not per player, correct?
It's per
It's
position.
for like, yeah.
Oh, per position. Okay,
What is it, like
right
82
on.
games?
You
I
have
think?
So
like,
typically you have 82 games to
Yeah.
use up for each position.
See, and that's one thing I fucked up. So it would tell you like the remaining games you had left, and I don't know what the hell I was looking at, but it was a totally different number. So I thought that I had that number of remaining games, when it turns out it was something different entirely, and it was a lot less than what I originally thought. And I only knew because Yuri told me. So I fucked that up too. But yeah, you're totally right about like you have to have a very well balanced team. So I drafted Giannis with one of my picks. And that just trashed my free throw percentage. Like I think I'm still last, even though I traded him. And I tried to draft like high free throw percentage players like Curry, for example, but like it was too far gone. Like there was no climbing out of that hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of strategy involved.
It's really hard to win in Roto when you've got like 1 point for a category.
Yeah.
Like you really, it's really, you've got to have like 10 or 12 points in all the other categories, like in so many other categories, to make up for that one that you're getting in, turnovers or free
oh wait,
throw
is it like
percentage.
you get 1 point for what place you come in out of
Yes.
overall? Okay.
Yeah.
Word.
So if you're at the top, if you've got the highest points scored for the whole season, you get 12 points
12 for that,
in a
right.
12-man league, right? So yeah. Yeah, Dan Best versus the King of Roto. So, and I'm in his friends and family
Fun.
Roto league. So
Hey, Dan, we get it. We get the gospel you're trying to spread, man.
That's right.
I know every time I log into Twitter, I see a post from him about Roto. It's
I
hilarious.
know. I know. It's like, hey, are you frustrated because Dame has a blood clot? How about Roto?
yeah.
That's so true.
Were you depressed for about a week because Victor went down and your season's over? How about Roto? Like, we get it. We
Yeah,
get
he's
it.
hilarious. I love him. Dan's the best.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
See, but my thing with like you were saying, Yuri, because I don't like I love getting into the details. I do. I mean, I played basketball myself. I was a point guard for like a lot of my life, all through high school. Like I get like getting into the details. But it's just so funny because efficiency is one of the first categories that like I just punt. Because and maybe like I'll look at the numbers on this, but does anyone else just feel like efficiency and free throw percentage as a whole is decreasing around the league? Like I'm seeing Trey miss free throws that like he rarely does. Like Steph isn't like automatic like he used to be. And on the efficiency, I mean, unless you're Shea, it just feels like that efficiency piece and then like winning points. It's so impossible to like marry those two because the high usage guys who you want, who are gonna get you all those other categories, they're gonna be guarded in a way that's gonna impact that efficiency.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna have to make sacrifices there. So like I'll usually, again, unless I am starting in a position where I have to grab, you know, a Halliburton, like I said, who again hasn't even been that guy for a lot of the season, regardless. Like he's not the efficiency guy anymore, anyways. And so it makes it really difficult to even like figure out a balance where you can win that, but then not be like really deficient in all the other categories. Like you want the guy with the ball in his hands. You want, you know, the high usage player who's going to get some turnovers. He's going to have to chuck some shots because he's being guarded in a way that puts him in that position. And you hope he makes more than he misses. But ultimately, efficiency is not something that you can bank on, I guess, is how I feel.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. Even like in like the Roto League I was doing too, it was hard to kind of find players who I knew I could rely on for high field goal percentage. Free throw, I had a little bit more luck with just because like after I drafted Giannis, I was targeting the guys who typically do very well in that category. But for field goal percentage, yeah, it's been like a freaking roller coaster this year, and it's hard.
Guys, Walker Kessler last night went 1 for 8 from 3. He's chucking threes now. We're in the twilight zone. We're in the upside down. Okay. The Jazz said we want to lose. You can play, but just go out there and
Go out there and have fun.
Don't block shots anymore. Don't get rebounds. Just go 1 for 8. No exaggeration.
And it's almost like he just is
shot like
trying
8.
out being a different kind of player. It's weird.
I guess now's the time to experiment.
It is, and it could be interesting. He could absolutely be a fantasy breaker, like Wembanyama, if he's truly trying to add the 3.
Yeah, develop. Yeah,
and he's the only other player that can compete with Victor for like leading the league in blocks.
Yeah.
And then if he's also going to be doing that, rebounding, and then like every so often going like 2 for 4 from 3. That can change a team like that. Like a couple
and
threes.
he's got to make his free throws too, though.
That's
he's
crazy.
Terrible at the
But
line.
The free throws, yeah.
Walker Kessler 3 won you a league, Yuri.
It did. Yeah.
I mean, that's how exciting is that? Like that, you know.
And then I dropped
add
him.
a little. No, did you really? Well, I mean, totally understandable this week.
Like you thought it was going to be Filipowski time? Like you thought he was going to be sitting?
No, yeah, I just didn't trust like how much they were going to play him. And honestly, like his efficiency numbers were just going to hurt me. And I needed more because I had a bye week and I was kind of like sussing out who I was going to be matched up with in my first proper week, and I needed threes. And so I picked up Tristan V. So
Oh, right on.
Walker could have got you almost 8.
Oh yeah, right.
If you hit those.
I'd love to drop.
I'm not sad about it.
That's fair. I'd love to draft like Kessler, but I've always been scared to take a chance on the Jazz guys. But for whatever reason, I drafted Markkanen in like 3 or 4 leagues, which is so weird. I think he just fell enough that I could justify grabbing him.
Yeah.
But we've talked about this already. Where like it's so hard to draft players from tanking teams.
It's impossible.
Yeah. I drafted him in one like auction draft, and because I was like, $2. Sure. Larry.
It's a steal. That's a great, because the thing is,
good price.
He still did the thing. Like,
yeah, he still did the thing. I mean, I dropped him way before playoffs, but like
he still leads the league. No, I guess like some of that is because unfortunately we lost Wemby. Shout out to Kayla, RIP. to Kayla.
Yeah, and Kyrie and Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, that's wild times. He still leads the league in blocks, and he's still a great player. And I do think that he's going to be an amazing center for the Jazz when they, actually want to play for real the game of basketball when they're done. I think he's going to be amazing. I have him in a couple leagues as well, and he did the thing for me that I wanted him to do. It's just, it's interesting, man. Like even like with Keontae. I was surprised that he's coming off the bench now. He's still like playing well, but they went from Keontae to Isaiah Collier because again, they're very clearly not trying to win right now. And it'll be interesting, because again, when the Cooper Flags and the Dylan Harpers of the world are like available for teams to draft, I think it's going to be very interesting. It won't be, of course, every year, but I think this year and next year. I'm hearing chatter that the draft for 2026 could be even better than this one. So, like, play fantasy accordingly.
Yeah, I gotta brush up on my my college basketball and the prospects because I'll be honest, I don't really know much. But yeah, I mean that's a great tip. Just watch out for the draft classes because that's gonna have a huge influence on tanking.
Clearly, yeah, it's gonna be great. I still can't get over how creative the Washington, like the Wizards were. Like,
seriously,
we saw teams around the league getting fined, and they said like, Jordan's got like an elbow injury, and Champagnie can't play, and Middleton and Marcus Smart are like, oh, they're sick, they're not feeling so great. And then like it kind of came out that the league is looking at, I think it was the Jazz and maybe one other team. And then like the next day, the Wizards changed their injury reporting. And that Poole was playing, Marcus Smart was playing, but they just played Jordan 10 minutes because I guess they're like, well, you can't monitor that. Like, he's healthy, he's there. And then they just played him. Like, they're messing with minutes now. Like, it's, oh my goodness.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I think they did something like that for Markkanen too.
Yeah.
They changed his reason for being out to personal.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, how are you gonna fight that?
I wonder if Washington's whole strategy at the trade deadline of signing those vets was towards tanking. Like,
you think so?
I don't know. Like, there's something in the way that and the other teams, not a lot of the other teams took on so many vets, like older guy vets on their team and mix them up with young guys. I mean, it makes sense for, to get the young guys mixing it up with very good, like championship caliber vets, but it's also a strategy of like, oh, we gotta give some of these vets playing time, right? And so it creates like a little bit of inconsistency in terms of rotations and stuff, but it also maybe helps to keep the young guys' spirits up, having the vets on there and just like saying, yeah, this is how the business is. This is how, sometimes late in the season this happens. So I don't know. I just wonder if like Washington front office went into the trade deadline with a plan about how they were going to gracefully tank, creatively tank.
Yeah. Speaking of inconsistent rotations, I mean, I've maintained for like at least a month that that Spoelstra for Miami is like completely redefining the terms of the surreptitious tank. That he's like, at least I did think that until this past week, at which point I was just like, oh. No, this is just a nightmare. They're just terrible. I mean, there's a bit of both there, but I think he may be onto something with
They're not that bad. They fucking kicked our ass tonight.
No, for real? No.
Oh god.
Oh yeah. The Heat beat us the whole game.
Oh my god, bless up.
Wow. Yeah, no, that tanking, man. And listen, you're on a call with two Raptors fans who are like, our team was like the king of the ethical tank. Okay. We would take like a nail biter in the fourth quarter, and Scotty would, there'd be a turnover, there'd be a missed shot, like, you know what I'm saying? And we would lose the game. And for a couple months, we were just ethically tanking. It was beautiful. It was entertaining. And we were
totally
great. But then other teams caught on. Right.
Yeah.
and now like East is like a race to the bottom. And so like, who knows? We were probably locked in, Kayla, at like like 6th or 7th worst, which gives us like a 13% chance at a number 1 pick and like a 30% chance at top 4 or 5. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Raptors are like, we own the ethical tank some way, somehow.
I think the Nets are doing a good job too. Yeah, like they're being really competitive. Huh?
Yeah, but the Nets are also just like a bad team, right?
I know, but I don't know. There's something kind of glorious about the way that they go out and play and compete.
I'm surprised Cam is still on the team. I thought Cameron was definitely going to be traded.
Yeah,
like me too.
Contender type off the Nets, but they kept him.
Yeah, maybe eventually. With the Raptors, though, it's so funny because it's so funny though when you see the Raptors and like you hear about all these like game winners that they're hitting.
Yeah,
it kills me. It kills me.
Never used to do that. We used to beg for those,
right? Yeah, but sorry, you were gonna say.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. Like, I know that all of you guys play in, a handful of leagues or whatever. Who were some people who, just like reflecting back or whatever? Obviously, Jess. I mean, I had Cade and like, in my 16-team league, I had Harden was my first pick. Cade was my second, which I mean that was.
Oh yeah, you
like insane. Yeah. So I mean, like. Look, your team, like I couldn't even hate your team because I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like I love Kate so much. Fellow CC, shout out. But who were some people you guys drafted this year that were you were just like this, like I love this person so much. You changed my life. Thank you. I love you forever. Was there anyone who like, just made your season a joy? Because, you picked them so much lower than their ADP or whatever, and they just cooked for you like every single favorite meal.
I mean, Amin was great. I had him in like half.
Hell yes.
Mobley was great. Yeah, I drafted him in about where his ADP was, though. I think Zubac was fucking phenomenal.
Jesus Christ.
I had both Harden and Zubac, so it was like money every time
that's sick.
was played.
That's sick. That was my plan in some of my drafts, but they got swiped from me. I have a handful actually. Like I think Cat in one of my leagues.
Huge one.
He cooked all season and he was healthy. Shout out to Norman Powell's start of the season.
Whoa.
Fire.
Yeah, like I was like the regular season champion in one of my leagues, and that came with like a $300 prize. And I'm like,
nice.
a lot of that is because Norman made me like really hard to beat. I think Dyson.
Yes, Dyson Daniels.
Number one in my leagues, and I think he's got to be the answer, man. He's got to be the answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, those would be my names.
Oh, and Josh Hart for me. He was probably
His legs are looking right now. Like he's not looking the same.
Fucking triple double machine.
Thibodeau in those minutes, but at the beginning of the season,
Mhm.
Josh was he was scary.
Dude, 16, 12, 11 tonight.
Tonight? Ooh.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. I think for me, I'd have to say, definitely Kat, Powell, Dyson Daniels, even Jamal Murray was a good one too.
Okay.
I picked him in like
Interesting.
the mid rounds, but I mean, I think he's ranked like in the top 30 on #basketball. So
Why
a lot
does
better
he
than I thought.
always start the season so fucking slow though?
It
Always. It's
That's
crazy.
fair. Yeah, but he balled out this year, so I'll take it. Even Hero was taking like
Hero is
around
great.
the 80 mark, and I
Oh.
think he's like what, like a third round ranked player, give or take, which is crazy. A lot of people were so down on Hero, but I love him. No?
I am so down. I'm a Heat fan. I'm so down on Hero. Joe, yeah, he's not that guy. He's just not that guy. I would not believe in him for anything. Kindly. On the other hand, yeah, the people who I drafted, like my most drafted players or whatever, two dudes who I love, one who was not great until he finally, got back in, got his groove back or whatever, way like nowish, Devin Vassell, and then the hillbilly mama himself, Mr. Austin Reeves, who I picked 96, and amazing.
I love that name.
Yeah.
Man, the discourse on white men in Lakers jerseys and if it's like flattering, and if that yellow
It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh Lord.
And then like the screenshots of Dalton Connect, Austin Reeves, and Luca.
It's so bad.
Oh,
it's so God. Unflattering. Oh my Lord.
That's so funny. But yeah, I do have shout
out
to Austin. Shout out to Austin Reeves, because like he's cooking in one of my leagues as well. I was a little nervous when the Luca trade went down. I thought that was gonna like kill his value.
Same.
But it didn't.
Yeah, see, the good thing too is that like LeBron is really old, so at least like whenever he's like injured, Austin Reeves can step up, right?
Well, and the thing is,
we'd always do this time.
Well, and the thing that's so funny is like, I think LeBron has been looking for somebody to pass the torch to and play like a number 2 kind of position for the past like 3 years. Like he really wanted AD to be like the guy. Like I think he wanted Anthony Davis. No, Carley, I'm so serious. Like I think his hope and his plan was to position Anthony Davis to be the future of the Lakers. And he just complained about being the center. And like he didn't want to take the shots.
Right.
And I guess he just wasn't that guy. And that's not to say that AD isn't a beast. I think he's a monster. Like, and when healthy, he's one of the better like center / power forwards in our game. But he just didn't want to be the number 1 guy, I guess. But Luka and Austin clearly don't mind taking those shots. And I think we'll see, and we're already seeing it. I think in a lot of ways, I haven't seen a friction between LeBron and Luka. I haven't seen LeBron call for the ball up top and have to be the guy to put up the key. Like he is old, right? Like he's 40 now. And I think he's looking for the guy to kind of pass everything on to for a very long time, and he has it now. And so I think it'll be interesting to see how his kind of the latter half of his career, the 2 years that we have left possibly of LeBron. I think it's just going to be positioning Luka. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think Luka's really ready to embrace that role. But it was still just so like gut wrenching just to see like everything coming out after he was traded to LA. Because I mean, he had just bought a mansion in Dallas. Like he was crying, like all these things, and God, it hurt. But I mean, it's so exciting just to think of the fact that he's going to be the future of the Lakers. Yeah. So there's that at least.
Somehow the Lakers do it again. They're set up for another 10 years.
Yep.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Well, any other thoughts? No. Yeah.
Well, it's been a ride, guys.
We're all talked out.
I know, right?
Don't draft him.
A lot of good stuff today. A lot of good tips, which is great for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it.
looking forward to next year, to the BBB.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, we might need
Yeah.
we might need to switch it up and come up with a better format, just so it's not as painful down the stretch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Josh Lloyd will help us out with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you will.
I'm definitely like curious, you know, very very much open to hearing other options, you know, because I mean, like I said, this was my first year, so I mean, I was very much aware of the silly season phenomenon, but like, damn, you know, it's pretty brutal. I mean, like, this past week for you, Jess, I was just like, oh my god, like that is
rough.
So yeah, I mean, truly like brutal. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what recommendations or, you know, what ideas you guys might have on changes or
how it evolves.
improvements.
Yeah,
How it all evolves.
It'll be fun.
Cool,
My really only final thought is like joining this league was everything that I thought it would be. You guys are off, and despite the chaos, it was really really fun. And again, like I said, Scotty Barnes, okay, Hottie Barnes is on the rise. I'll take that silver. I'll take that second place finish. But yeah, this was so much fun. Like women should be playing this more, doing this more, and owning more of this space. Because I think
Here.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. We're
right
so glad
on.
to hear that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was an absolute blast. I I've been a hoops fan for like decades, and have always, you know, had my like you know, notepad or whatever, like the all Carley team. But it was fun to do it, you know, not just on paper, and have like a proper fantasy team and get to play with all you you know, cool bitches and learn the game a little bit. That I was like, why do people spend so much time doing this? But it's incredibly fun. And really one thing that I was, I guess, maybe a little bit surprised about, well, I'm a little bit surprised that I was able to like hang at all, considering the draft that I had. I mean, not that it was bad, but like, I definitely know a lot more about a whole lot of players that I was like very vaguely familiar with, you know, or like much less familiar with, than, you know, that's fun.
So much fun. And that was the point. That was kind of what got me into it. Like 2 years ago, I was like a D'Anthony Melton stan. Like I was just like, D'Anthony Melton, that's my dude, bro. Like
yeah, cool.
Just because you get to see how these players play, you kind of relate to their impact on the floor, like the defense, the inefficient defensive guys. Like that was kind of how I played as a point guard. Like I was very much like, you know, gritty, like in your face, defensive type player, who might pop off offensively here and there, but you knew what you were gonna get. And so like I kind of love making those parallels, like
totally
watching teams more closely and falling in love with just like the technique or the mindset or the perspective of different guys and what they bring to the floor. It's been really, really fun.
Totally. Yeah, like everyone on my teams, I'm like, you gotta get rebounds. You've got like, and I'm totally like that in real life too. Like there's no excuse for not getting rebounds. That's just hustle. You know, there's
Miles Turner used to piss me off, bro. I'm like, I get it, you're a stretch five, but why do you average like 3 rebounds a game?
Right. Yeah, totally.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, Kayla,
guys.
let's not get caught.
Let's keep going.